Previously on The Sims 4 Big Brother. Level 10 of this game introduced the triple eviction week, and our final 6 players were quickly dwindled down to 5, as Akira fell victim to the first eviction of the week. Soon after, our house guests had to compete in their next HOH competition. This grueling endurance competition was horse riding, where they had to ride their horse in circles, and I'm not too sure if it was endurance for them or for us for watching the whole thing, so it was kind of a snooze. However, one by one, our house guests ended up falling off their horses until it came down to our winner, Zoe. Zoe was crowned HOH and immediately had to nominate 2 people. And at the nomination ceremony, she decided to nominate Vanessa and Bob. And they quickly found out that the POV wasn't going to be easy, as they all had a race to clean up their poop and get seated in time. And while it was a nail biter, in the end, Rashida ended up winning POV, where she kept the nominations the same. At the eviction, it was down to just Mark and Rashida to decide who went home. But the 2 of them decided to split the vote and gave 1 vote to Bob and 1 vote to Vanessa, which meant it was a tie and Zoe had to come down and stand up and decide who was going to go home herself. And Zoe chose Vanessa to go to the jury house. And Vanessa wasn't too happy about it. We are now down to our final 4 and 1 more player is going to go home. Who's going to leave? Find out now! Hi all my beanie weenies, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Sims 4 Big Brother US Season 2, and we are down to our final 4 players. We have 2 boys and 2 girls left, and we are on our last part of the triple eviction week. So we need to find out who the next HOH is before we get down to our last HOH ever. Okay, so this is the penultimate HOH competition, and it's just going to be taking place upstairs in the arcade. Yep, that little arcade game that's been hiding in the corner of the house this whole time that's barely been used, that's what's going to determine your fate tonight, especially because there will be no POV. So, whoever becomes HOH, you have a lot of power because your 2 nominees are permanent. Now, Rashida, Zoe, Mark, and Bob, you can all begin playing on the arcade game. And one of you will be crowned the winner by the end. Now, I gotta say, the game was glitched for me for a while, and I was trying to kind of film around it, but as you can see in a lot of the shots, it was just a blank screen, and they were kind of doing the same animations over and over again. No one was getting eliminated. Nothing was really happening. They were all just very intensely playing the same part of the game over and over. It's a bit of a bummer, but I feel like this game has been glitching more and more as the series has gone on, which you would think would be the opposite as more people are leaving the house and we are down to, less than 8 in a household, but who knows? It's been a little bit messed up, but eventually it does get fixed, except for Zoe. Okay, so she ends up giving up. She's too tired to carry on, and she ends up leaving the competition, meaning that she is out of the game and potentially able to be nominated tonight. But we are now down to just 1 girl left, that being Rashida. Now, she has won HOH a couple times, but will she be able to win it again? And Mark and Bob seem to be getting a little bit frustrated with the game so far. Maybe they're tailing behind, but as you can see, we have finally moved past that round 1 stage, and we are actually beginning to shoot some aliens, kick some alien butt, and there's a lot of explosions taking place right now in the game.
Hansa.
Efferoo.
Whitney. Capto.
However, after that explosion, it seems as though Mark is out of the game. He has given up and leaves the arcade room, meaning we are now down to our final 2 players, Rashida and Bob. Now, Bob really needs to secure a win in order to get some jury votes. I mean, sure, he's been playing nicely so far, but for most of the game, he's been sitting in the background, barely been nominated, hasn't really won anything, and while he's gotten closer to the end, he's been stepping it up a little bit more, but will he be able to step it up completely and win this HOH? Or is Rashida gonna win? She's kind of been doing fairly well. If anything, I think she's won the most competitions out of everyone here. Will she be able to add some more to her belt and carry that on to the final?
Joy the snurfs.
But just like that, we have a winner. Congratulations, Bob Pancakes. You have won this HOH, and you've enjoyed that game so much you start trying to play again. But we do not have time for that, as we all have to head downstairs and see who Bob is going to nominate. Now, this is Bob's first HOH win, and it's about time because we are running out of HOHs and chances to win the big competition of the week, and he was able to secure it this week, and it comes with a lot of power. Like I was saying before, this 3rd eviction in the triple eviction week is severe because there is no power of veto. Instead, we're going straight to the living room, and Bob is going to choose which 2 nominees he wants to face eviction. And since there are only 4 people left, that means that one person that is safe and not nominated will be the sole vote in deciding who goes home. So let's look at Bob's relationships and see who he decides to nominate. Alright, and based off that, the 2 people Bob is least closest to and are nominated are Rashida and Mark. Kind of interesting, I think, that Rashida and Mark are nominated, considering that they were the 2 others that got further in the competition, and Zoe was the first one out, and yet she is the one safe. I think that's pretty strategic for Bob Pancakes. However, that does mean that Zoe will be the sole person to vote for who goes home tonight. Alright, Zoe, since you're the only person voting tonight, there is no need to go to the diary room. Let's go ahead and take a look and see who you're closest to. And based off that, the person that Zoe has decided to be leaving and to get 4th in the house will be Mark. I'm sorry, Mark, but you have been evicted. Please say your goodbyes and head out the front door. And just like that, Mark has been evicted and has gotten 4th place, but his game is not completely over yet. He will be heading to the jury house and will return on finale night to vote for who he wants to be the winner. Alright, and of course you can download Mark and all of our house guests on the Sims 4 gallery at Sims Hot Dogs. You can also find this house, a shell of the house, the Big Brother 25 house, some BBUK houses. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there if you're a Big Brother fan. But the episode isn't over just yet either, as we're going to be heading back over to the jury house and see how Vanessa finds her new surroundings. Now, Vanessa enters the house and quickly bypasses Akira, who seems to be heading outside to the pool. However, Vanessa decides to head upstairs, and she isn't even trying to claim a bed. Instead, she is trying to be reunited with Nox once again, who is with Angela and Kaori in the theater room. In there, Vanessa shows them what's gone on in the house in the past week, how she went home, and all the exciting updates on the drama. And of course, she wants to, rekindle her romance between Nox. However, in the time that has passed since her eviction and Nox's stay in the jury house, he seems to not be too into it. I don't know if he's bitter about what happened in the house, if maybe he's found romance in the jury house, or what's gone on, but he isn't really picking up on the flirting as much as he once was.
Oh,
Got some here.
The door.
Hey, Patrol. Wagaborn Z.
And obviously, Vanessa is hurt by the sudden rejection from Nox. It's pretty surprising, honestly. I thought that they would be woohooing the entire time in the jury house, but it doesn't seem that that is the case. So Vanessa quickly gets up and tries to find the only other boy in the house, which is, of course, Akira. Now, her and Akira didn't have that much romance, but I feel like Vanessa needs that confidence boost. She just got rejected by the one man she thought was into her. So, of course, she strips down into her cute little Sims bikini that matches perfectly with her hair and swims over to find Akira sunbathing by the pool. But surprisingly, instead of flirting, Vanessa actually decides to play a little prank on Akira and rub some sunscreen all over him while he's napping in the sun. Of course, making funny little details and designs all over his torso and back. And I'm sure at the time he didn't really mind. He seems to not even really notice. He kind of wiggles a little bit, but soon just goes back to sleep. And Vanessa gets a great view right beside him to see her results as quickly he tans and the surprise is shown. And he doesn't seem to be too hurt by it. Sure, he's a little bit embarrassed, but I think he still looks kind of good. But hopefully this awkward tan fades by the time finale night comes around, or he's going to be looking really interesting for his last time on TV. Everything is so weirdly laid out by the pool, so awkwardly Vanessa has to get in order to get out and sit on the edge. But she does eventually get there, and she does start flirting with Akira, who instantly rejects her. Okay, what a bummer. However, this time she's a bit more persistent. She keeps on trying, and I think he was kind of feeling a little bit hurt about the tan prank. But once he soon sees the humor in it, he does begin accepting her advances, and the two of them do actually begin flirting, just for her to reject him right back. Okay, so what is going on here? All of our Sims, want to flirt, but none of them want to accept any flirts. It's pretty complicated. Eventually, though, Akira does sit down beside her and tries to scoot a little closer, just for her to laugh in his face about the tan. He then tries to, give her a little smooch, and she rejects it. It's just a complete mess, okay? The love is not in the air in the jury house. Everyone's a little bit too bitter, a little bit too selfish, a little bit too preoccupied with themselves, and it is not Love Island after all. This is Big Brother. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's episode there. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff as we head into our final 3 episodes. The season is almost over, so please stay tuned. Bye.